we're live.
Oh, alright everybody, and we are back. So we've got some things that have been going on. I know it's on Experience Egg and Shadow Check. We started with... Who was it again we started off with?
So we started off with Celeste, Saban, and Shadow, and we did find an Odin in the Celeste check, and another Esper at the Collapsing House, and Nobody War is finding Gao in the Shadow check over in World of Ruin Cave? Vault Cave?
Came in the belt, yep.
We'll see here from Dande's side in a minute what this Esper was from Collapsing House.
We saw those. No, the Odin has the big blue button on it.
I like buttons.
Yeah, buttons are always good. That's not to eat them,
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
though. It looks like it was Scarlet from the Collapsing House, and Orlance from the Thief. So it looks like Shadow Check with Experience Egg, trying to think. Then that would be Celeste's check for the freebie would have been Odin. And as we're making those checks, we get characters, we get espers, we raise that scaling, so the bosses are just a little more difficult to actually take on there.
They have gotten some levels, but with the skills that they have, I mean, Saban's got Magitech, so Magitech Factory is looking pretty good right about now. Granted, get a few more levels. Magic and X Magic for Celeste, I'm sorry, that's Shadow, and Rage for Celeste, which is, didn't really get that good of a look at the Rage list, but I'm sure he's got some good stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we got Saban, who can, has a decent magic stat that can go around. If you find that magic plus 2 Esper early on, you just pump some levels into it, and that Magitech's going to be doing some work early on. Shadow with the X Magic, kind of the same deal here. I mean, he does have a bit higher magic than most, because in vanilla he's able to throw those schemes, which goes off your magic. So definitely a X Magic user and Magitech. This is free. We have. Can we get a Dragon Horn? I want a Dragon Horn. Do you want a Dragon Horn?
I mean, how many can we have at this point?
I mean, we got a jump Gao.
Now, Nobody War side, that Gao looked like he had Capture and one other one. I missed
Jump.
it. Jump. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we can have those Dragon Horns.
I'd take a Dragon Horn. I mean, depending on his equipment list, you might not be able to stick a Lance on him, so you lose a bit of the extra damage. But I mean, Gao's got a decently high Vigor stat. Just have a jumping Gao.
And he is good on the attacks as well. So having a jump Gao, I mean, that jump looks 10 times better than that capture, unless you really need that capture. And it looks like we have Mog at Imperial Camp for Judge Joe. So already we have some pretty decent divergence in at least checks and characters are concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually played quite a bit with Joe. He's not too fond of Mog's checks. And I mean, I on one hand, I kind of get it. Like, you're going up there, you gotta walk all the way to the back behind Kefka and Narsh. There's no warping out. But you at least get to check the Kefka and Narsh, see if it's a character or a possible item or Esper. If you decide to do it for some extra levels, you can go right into Mod Defense. So, I mean, there's options out there for it.
And those extra levels are pretty good, yeah. We have an Atmo weapon in the first section of Magitech's factory for Cyclore. Nobody War going through Serpent Trench, so this is a good chance for him to build up some extra levels if he needs it.
Yeah, I mean, getting the extra levels on at least your Magitech user, because that's going to be your early carry. You know, having all 3 elementals, it's basically like a level 2 spell power. And once you get the magic power up to level 3, it's really nice.
Those
random
fire
encounters
trees
here on Dande's side.
Yeah, looks like he was right outside the World of Ruin and Narsh getting levels, so looks like they're providing a decent amount of experience, so
I mean, yeah, I mean, right outside of Narsh is probably one of the most common places to try to do some levels because you have 3 different encounters that you can get. You can get outside World of Ruin, inside World of Ruin, and then outside World of Balance. And if you need to heal up anytime, you have the pot inside the learner's area to heal up. So it's a nice little area that's right there. I mean, Dante showing off like, hey, you can go hit this little pot to re-heal. Got a nice save spot. And then there's also a monster in a box in here. A lot of people always kind of hope, is that going to be my Katana Soul?
it looks like hidden. And it does look like Dante's going up the mountain, preferably to get that dragon, maybe, as well as the Tritouch fight for a potential Esper.
I can almost see doing the Tritox spot before the dragon, kind of increase the scaling, then hit the dragon, depending on how you feel there for your power level. Well, I think he's done at least 2 checks, 2 some randoms. I can definitely see the dragon being taken on first just to kind of shore up those levels before blitzing through the rest of his checks.
I mean, that would be a good idea, but unfortunately we don't have blitz.
No suplexing, no bum rush.
Well, let's just hope we don't find a train beforehand.
No, I got trolled one day by a blitz user. I had a blitz user at Kefka at Narsh, but the boss was the train. So the train was blocking my blitz user. I was so bad. I'd probably say one of the second worst dragon here, the gold dragon. Always a nasty one to fight because of the lightning, unless you have some thunder shields or Minervas to kind of counteract that.
Gold Dragon is a tough one. I mean, especially working around its, what it absorbs, which is lightning. Got some ice beams going off with a nice flare star from Celeste, so that'll more than likely do just enough damage. No, not quite.
That's Celeste took a reflected ice free from Shadow because those boxes have they start with reflect, so that kind of hurt a bit. Oh, and then gobblers and flans. Nope, this. I'm out. Deuces.
Yeah, that would be a decent fight to get out of. It looks like we have a lure Mog, which is pretty tempting. So it almost kind of feels like we're going down the path for a magic seed, which would be pretty interesting to see in the Ultros League.
Magic in general usually is more powerful than physical fighting, just because of how its damage calculation and knowing the weakness of enemies, being able to hit a ×2 or a ×4 weakness really just expedites getting through checks faster.
It looks like Nobody War finished his Serpent Trench, but unfortunately I didn't get to see what the reward was. I know it wasn't a character, because I did see Sabin laying down at some point.
It might have been a Genji glove. So I didn't see it being an Esper either. Oh, it was Rag Sword. Or Rag Esper.
Ah, Ragnarok.
Oh, hard to see when it's like, hey, you get the Ragnarok, alright, which one? Is it the Esper or is it the Magicite? It's worse when you sit. And when it comes to the Ragnarok, you sit there and do locks check. It's like, alright, which one do you want? Do you want Ragnarok or Ragnarok?
Well, I mean, I usually take Ragnarok in that case. Because why would you want Ragnarok and not Ragnarok? I mean, come on.
Right? When you're sitting there, you're at 8 Espers, you're like, I want my ninth one, which one is it?
Look, I'm Team Ragnarok all the way, alright? So... it looks like Nobody War is going to the Imperial camp himself. Gonna be getting his Mog soon. Judge Joe jumping down Barren Falls, which I do like, but I don't think he went and checked what was in Phantom Train. So his Saban checks that are all right there, he looks like he may be passing up Phantom Train for now.
I mean, you could spy it at any time. I'm one that I'm right there before I do Venom Falls. I'm probably never coming back again to this area. Let me just quickly head to the caboose, check to see if it's character esper, and if it's nothing, just reset out. But on the other hand, it's the temptation aspect of it. Oh, I saw Lumina in there. Do I want to go through this for that weapon? And then have, something like Magimaster or some terrible fight at the end of that and be like, well, I just wasted a bunch of time trying to get an item.
I've had that issue with the Valiant Knife with the Phantom Train. It looks like Dande has gotten his carbuncle, meanwhile Judge Joe got an experience egg out of Barren Falls, which, it's not a bad dead check. It'll help any character you want get those extra levels for, potentially a better stat increase.
I think we saw Quasar in the lore list. So, that's unfortunately it's not elemental, so that's always nice to see.
So that'll be great for a Mog to have an experience egg to gain those extra levels.
So I wonder if Joe's actually gonna, completely disregard what I was saying earlier about it, but nope, going into Vector. So like doing Serpent Stretch in the Narsh could have been an option, but I think getting the experience egg going, I want levels on my Saban, I want Magitech Missile. And then as well as it gives you Extra, which is your instant death for KT.
Yeah, so this Magitech Factory, I mean, I can see it somewhat being viable if you want to get these checks out of the way. Plus, it'll turn your Magitech online, so yeah, you do get that missile, you do get that X-Fer. If you're looking for like X-Zone or Doom or... Well, they do have Odin, because we did get that from the Celeste basement in South Figaro, so I guess that's one thing they don't really have to worry about.
Well, I mean, so the thing is that unfortunately, in Ultros League, we can only use a summon once. So do you use the open in phase 1 or do you use it in phase 2? That's where the question comes to be. It's like, where do you want to use it the most? So having the option of like extra at least, if you don't find a Doom or an X Zone or like a scimitar, even like an instant death weapon, you at least have that option that you're not losing on it.
Yeah, and especially for taking into the final fight with Kefka. Especially for tiers 1 and 2, where Long Arm is susceptible to instant death, and I believe it's weapons also that is easily killable by the instant death strategy.
Yep, it's the left arm and tools for weapons, depending on the version you play. And generally, in tier 2, you want to get rid of tools or weapons very fast because you have the option like Diffuser coming out, which can hit you for a lot of damage, or other options that are just really nasty. Well, let's actually talk about the actual Ultros League flag set here. So our objectives here are to get 6 characters and 9 espers. And that unlocks our KT. For our skip, we have to do 21 checks in total to get a skip, 11 espers, or 9 characters, I believe it is. Like, skips can be quite far out in between than it was previous years.
And with the way that it is, if you get a lot of dead checks, if it's that unfortunate, so it'll make getting skip more presentable and more alluring to do that. So if they do happen to be unfortunate enough to get as many dead checks, like with what they did with the Barren Falls and the experience egg, I would probably, once the checks start getting into like the 18s or 19s or even the 17s for that matter, I would be looking and getting real real tempted by that skip. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
we do have Guardian at the second boss fight for Judge Joe in the Magitech factory. So this is
Yeah, we got Bolt Beam, we got Bolt 2 on X Magic, but to answer a question there in chat, like, you see the Magitech in Vanilla on Terra, you have all those abilities where you have, the 3 elementals and Heal Force, you have Bio Blaster, Tech Missile, and Extra. With Worlds Collide, since it can be on just anybody, to unlock the other options, you have to fully complete the Magitech factory. So it's, you fight the effort spot, you're number 24, and you go through the train cart, take out the number 128 spot, and once you get to the train cart, you possibly get either a character Esper, and then you have to fight the crane. So it's like 4 bosses just to get your Magitech unlocked, but it could definitely be worth it.
and speaking of train cars, Nobody War taking on Phantom Train, getting that Raiden, which has, I believe it was an Ultima and Merton on that, if I saw that right. And Judge Joe getting Stray off the Guardian fight, which is going to have Life 3 and Break, which, I mean, they're pretty good. Life 3, if you don't have your calmness protection, it is something you can, kind of debate using if you want to use or not for, like, a life insurance policy on Tier 3.
Yeah. Life 3 technically is calmness protection, you just hope not to get calmness twice. I mean, Fenrir is the same way, just don't get hit with calmness twice of the same person.
I mean, at that point, it's all up to luck, and I'm not really good at that. And it looks like Donde is doing a Velt check, which I don't think I don't think Nobody War has done yet.
May not have found dried meat.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, dried meat is a scarcity in the world for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Seems like it'd be a common thing, but I don't know.
But I mean, when it comes to like Life 3, it's like usually I hope to have, like X Magic so I can at least spend half the time casting Life 3 on everybody. Because that's the one downside to Life 3 over the other options, is that it just, you're losing a turn on somebody every turn until everybody gets Life 3.
That's true. And Judge Joe is going through the entirety of the Magitech. I do like this because you do have your Magitech user, so you get just a little bit more power that you can use. Should you need it for now, if you're, like, I wouldn't say earlier levels, but once you get everything set up and going on, Magitech could or could not be as good, but on that one, I'm not 100% sure on so far.
Now, here's the little spicy, is that Donde actually found Giganto's monster in a box in the cave on the Velt, and actually found it as a random encounter here on the Velt, in an attempt to try to get Gauge Check. Now, the one restriction with Gauge Check is that it shows up just like it would in Vanilla, so no back attacks, no pincers, it won't show up, but taking out the Gigantos fight, that's a lot of experience for you. That's going to be great.
But unfortunately with the Velt, I don't think it does reward you with experience. Maybe just magic points in the guild. And a fun thing too about the Gauge Check on the Velt, if that's the first one you do, the only thing you're really ever going to see is Obos, which is, I mean, you just throw a stick at it, it'll go play fetch. Throw a rock at it, it'll go away.
And here we have a displayer, good old all over the big, brother. Weak to Wetfire, weak to, Remedy.
Judge Joe fighting Vargas and the Pooh Bears, which, Pooh Bear's gonna go take a nap. You eat all that honey, you get tired, I get it. While Nobody War is fighting the, what I like to call the Dream Triplets, who just goes down.
Three Stooges. If there's any fight I despise in Worlds Collide, it's the Stooges.
It looks like we get a Setzer from the Velt, and it looked like he had. Oh, I just saw it. I just saw it.
He had tools with 44 vigor and like 29 magic.
I mean that tool is tempting if you have a chainsaw, but I don't think we've seen that one just yet. And we do get
an
a siren.
air anchor.
We do get a siren from Judge Joe, so that'll help us cover mute. To mute magic in tier 2, so we do have that on the ready, and we got a Katana Soul on the Phantom Train, which I don't believe Nobody War found, but Cyclor is currently doing, so that is going
to be... Nobody War skipped past the Monster in a Box shift there, looted the other 3, and just left this one alone, so, I mean, if we find, you know, Valiant Knife, Fixed Dice, Patent Weapon, definitely makes that, offering a little nicer to have.
Yeah, and that offering is something that may or may not come back to haunt Nobody War if you didn't get it from the Phantom Train, because I do not believe you're able to go back to it to get the chest. Once you're done with it, you're done with it.
Yep, once you're done, it's gone. Same with Collapsing House.
And Judge Joe is just now finishing up the Magitech factory, and Donde is doing Barren Falls, so he will be getting his esper here soon, which I believe it was an esper.
No, it was an experience egg from the Barren Falls.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. So anyway, 4 to 5 characters. We're halfway there. I mean, now it's coming down to, for some people, where's my espers? Others, where are my characters? Because you're usually fighting one over the other.
So here's something that I'd like to see if you're down with. So at this point, would you know, you've got all your checks, you've done, you know, the vast majority of them. Is floating continent something you would want to do right away, or do you want to save that one for last? And I asked this while Nobody War himself is going to the floating continent, so it's pseudo answered my question for me.
I mean, I'm not someone who does it really early, just because you have a little bit of a gauntlet beforehand, into a boss fight, directly into a second boss fight. You can kind of get a little burned by the, you know, lowest body resources on the first gauntlet fights, and not have anything for the boss fight, and then you're a real hurt, you know. So it's like, I'll probably do it around mid, probably like that Nobody War's doing right now. Get some checks underneath my belt, and then do it. But definitely at the end is always an option. So like you're getting super close to your check count for 22. It's always an option.
And it will help with levels too, like 2 back-to-back boss fights, with getting a full heal for the second one. So, as far as level gaining goes, that's something that I would do. At the same time as Nobody War going to the floating continent, Judge Joe is doing the Moogle check, getting the Lone Wolf going, and he did find a Thunder Shield in the loot room, so that is a really nice find. You find a boss that just loves that thunder, boom baba, you will be more so protected for that than, if anything, he's just helping you take him out that much faster. So I do love those elemental shields.
Yeah, it's like Sports keep track of a lot of the different esper forces I'm seeing there in chat. I mean, we've got, let's see, Scarlet, I think, had Ice 3 and Mute, so we've got the options there. And we did find a Siren, which has the Mute just with her alone. We got a bunch of magic.
It looks like Magitech 1 gave Golem, so Judge Joe does have that Common's protection, and he will be getting this lock. You know, unless he wants that Genji glove. Right choice.
Yeah, you're gonna choose lock. Like, figure out your... Like, me, it's like, I always want to figure out my characters a little bit earlier. You know, do I have Sword Tech? Do I have Blitz? Do I want something I want to dump a ton of levels into? And lock having Blitz. Like, there's something to dump your levels into.
How are we
gonna see some bum action?
Just gotta find that train. Where is it?
Looks like the first boss there for Nobody War was good old Ifrit. We have had one dragon knockout. Somebody took on, I can't remember who it was, but somebody took on the gold dragon at the ice dragon spot, and it rewarded a snow muffler.
I believe that was Dande that took on the gold dragon.
Right, yep, Dande took out some random encounters with one of World War Narsh. Healed up, took on the dragon, they got the snow muffler into... I don't remember what Esper was at the trap-up spot.
Ooh, Judge Joe getting that random encounter right before getting to Kefka. You hate to see it.
Oh,
Look
the
at the
writer.
if you want the levels.
I mean, at least it's the writer, and it's not one of the other guys on the left where they respawn when you run away.
I mean, that does help, yeah. Having that, if it was any other one, it's just like, oh, great, you know. Hey, more levels, but 2 fights. I'm kind of losing a little bit of time here. As we find Go-Go in Floating Continent. Bit of an interesting character to find, if I do say so myself.
I mean,
with Go-Go, like, you can mimic your Magitech, so you can just mimic a bunch of tech missiles if you wanted to, but at this point, with how you've got your party going, is that something you really want to do? Like, would you want to get Go-Go for them?
I mean, for me, it really comes down, when it comes to Go-Go, it really comes down to what do I have for abilities. And to see go Chad on Joe's side, it comes down to what abilities I have. Do I have Jump? Do I have Sword Tech? Do I have X Magic? Pretty much anything else? Maybe even Blitz. Go kind of just falls off. Because you're not able to really gain his stats anymore. Like, he's just got his base stats, that's it. So stuff that, you know, kind of uses if you're leveled into a lot of damage calculations, like Sword Tech or Blitz, he can be really nice to have, because if you'd have 2 of those people doing it versus just 1. And then for me, it's always nice to have good X Magic user, so it's like, oh, I've got every single spell on Go-Go, cool, I can just life stream my entire party, and I can just blitz out damage.
Or if you were like me back when I used to play randomizers very casually, you know, you can have your X Magic with Go-Go and then just make it the Oprah Winfrey show and give out blue buttons to everybody.
Exactly.
Justin love a blue button.
I love the blue button.
Blue buttons are very helpful. As
I'm sad
Chatternook goes down for Judge Joe.
I'm sad. Unfortunately, in the Ultros League, there is no red button, unless you're talking about Merc. I missed my shock.
If you believe hard enough and are a little bit colorblind, anything could be a red button. Looks like Nobody War is taking on the second boss of Floating Continent, yet finding that Inferno. Cyclor looks like... Is Cyclor right behind him? Is he also doing Floating Continent? Looks like
yes.
it.
Yes, he is, actually. And I'm not sure if those cats, because I know there's cats out there where you can get the Rage of Stray Cat. So did any of those cats actually give us Stray Cat?
No. Not that I saw, no. It looks like Judge Joe is also going to be doing Rule of Defense. Not a new character, but that's fine. Could be an esper, could be, you know, a really good dead check. Ah, my weapon. Huh. Oh, excuse me, I don't know why I'm coughing so much, it's weird.
I mean, like I said, you got Mog, you can just literally do Lone Wolf and the Kefka Arch into Mog Defense. You got 3 checks all right in a row. And if you get your scaling enough, if you can't do the skips, you're going to get a lot of levels. So, I mean, it all depends on, like, if you're going to cast your net wide or, you know, more narrow for when you're looking for characters or aspers. And a lot of people will just sit there and constantly follow new characters. Well, with the way that Worldwide actually works, there's a higher chance of getting a new character from a new character that's joined your team. You know, so, for example, we started off with Shadow, Saban, and Celis. Cool. One of those people is going to give us a new character, as we saw. Imperial Camp gave us Mog, so Mog's going to have a higher chance of giving us a character. He gave us Locke. Between 3 of Locke's checks, there's a higher chance there to get another character. When is the time that you actually narrow down your search of going back towards Masters? Always the question.
And if I were to be chaotic about it, I really hope the next character on one of Locke's checks is that Phoenix Cave.
Well, we've got enough character options out there that we've seen between everybody here. I know Joe loves to do an early Phoenix Cave, but man,
Phoenix Cave is good because you get a dragon out of it.
Yeah, dragons are nice, but such a long walk, and you can make sure you have enough resources, because at the end of it, if you're stepping on all those spikes.
And it looks like we did get a dead check in Google Defense. It was an item by, was it a Minerva that he got?
It was a Minerva.
Oh, that is a good one. Doing his Magitech 3, Nobody Ward doing the Escape from Floating Continent. So, looks like all these triple checks, everyone's really committing to, and I do like that.
And we've got 3 people in Joe's team that can all wear the Minerva. Celis, who can actually wear Saban, and then Mog.
I've never really thought about a Mover wearing a Minerva, but now I kind of want to see that.
Going straight in here to Tunnel Armor.
I do like this Tunnel Armor play. There's also the weapon shop in World of Ruin Narsh, just for a freebie, to either get another Esper or, if it's a dead check, you've got 2 potential chances of getting a really good item out of that. So that is something that is still on the table. I think, or at least I hope, Judge Joe will be going to that right after Tunnel Armor.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately the direction you kind of go. It's like I like the aspect of like you're in one world versus the other. I just got Locke. Cool. Yeah, I'm right next to Narsh, but where am I going to go after that? What are my options? A lot of the options right now are all in the world of balance. So instead of just going back to the World of Ruin, get one check, and go back, just kind of like, you know what? I'll kind of end at that option of, a 22nd check, 21st check, something like that. Might be the weapon shop.
We get a Fenrir from Nobody War side, so we now have 2 forms of Thunder's Protection, which is very good. That Ultima, though, that Ultima just wants to be cast. It's on almost every Esper.
Yeah, but the problem with the Ultima is that it costs so much. 256 MP to cast it one time. Unless you find an Econ or a Hairpin.
And on the character train, we did get a Terra from Tunnel Armor check, so looks like that Phoenix Cave is slowly dwindling away. That's kind of a bummer. I did want to see a Phoenix Cave.
Yeah, so
or maybe I'm
actually,
just chaotic like that.
here's going in the World of Ruin. Can you do the wealth check in World of Ruin? But either way, this is a double check here for Joe. Like, going weapon shop, and then your second option is right there in the Whelp Cave.
Don't know. I've never attempted it. Oh, do you want an Illumina or an Illumina? That is a tough decision. So let me ask you on this one. Would you take the Illumina or would you take the Illumina?
I'd take the Illuma, walk back to the cave, and grab the second one.
See, that's the wrong answer. I would have gone with Illumina instead of Illumina. I'm sorry. No. Team Illumina all the way, man.
Yeah, take both.
That's how it is. But we do know that there are two completely free Illuminas, which makes Terra and Celeste and anybody else who would be able to get the chance to wield it just that much more stronger. And That is massively tempting.
You know
Or
what's better? Or you have one person because we have Judge Joe going here, going to go grab the the check here from Lone Wolf, which I think was a Genji glove.
and he does get that Genji glove, so I'm thinking maybe he's gonna take one of his characters and make them dual wield Illuminas. I mean, hey, why have one Illumina when two is better? You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, Lumina's gonna be in the back row. You don't have to worry about your fun sunglasses. Uh, like the one downside is the Lumina, it can be is proccing the Pearl at the wrong time.
Yeah, like tier 3 girl. I mean, not like
Yeah.
I've known that. I mean, it's
You
not
know,
what got
Lady,
filtered on my practice seed, but
Atma, Magi Master. Yeah. Anything that
nobody
absorbs Pearl.
wore getting his lock, and it looks like Donde is searching the skies for a Rexol. That is, ooh, not personally not my favorite boss.
No, but we've got single target options here to take out, so I mean, it's not as bad as it could be. I mean, if a lot of your offense was, sword tech, offering, like, you want to make sure you're hitting just right, so, because watching the little guys just fade away and come back, you just feel your time bleeding away.
And that Rexol goes down just like that. Weak to, well, potentially weak to ice. I'm still learning that one myself. But he does go down, so we'll see what his reward here is. And it looks like it is an esper.
Ooh, it doesn't look like Joe decided to go with the double aluminum building. He's right now just got cells with one of them.
I mean, I would see a lot of value in a double Illumina play, especially if you put two of them on the same character. I mean, that's just power overwhelming at that point. You're doing tens of thousands of damage, even early on in the earlier levels. But I don't think that's going to be that much of a problem here. So
it's like, oh, Noble War had the same thing happen to them, where got stuck by that Rider fight.
oh, that Rider, man.
Nice.
Tell you what, though, that Rider can ride off the mountain, so we can go to Kefka earlier. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got Donde here going to Daryl's tomb. Joe's taking out the gold dragon. And the try to talk about with Naraka. Can we get the tech missile before the condemn? Will it be enough? No.
Well, gave it an effort.
You always want to try. Always want to try to save the frames.
And Cyclor is finishing up his floating continent, so he'll be getting his reward very soon.
Yeah, I mean we're getting closer to our Kefka unlock. We got nobody at 7-4, Donde at 5-8, Cyclor at 4-5, and Judge Joe at 6-7.
So with having 7 characters, the question comes up, do you want to try to get just 1 or 2 more to get that Kefka skip, or do you just want to straight gun it for your 5 other espers and then just do full tower from there?
I think with the amount of checks we've done so far, we're getting closer to the check skip than anything. And we've at least got, 1 other dragon on the table that's easy. We've got, at least on Judge Joe side, so we've got Arbor House, Sealed Cave, Wealth 1 here, so we've got like 3 checks that's quick, fast, and easy. If you get extra character from it, 2 characters from it, cool, great. You may get your skip that way. But we're definitely getting closer to that check skip. And I missed who's sleeping on Donde's side.
I didn't miss it. All I saw is that we have a dual Ultros fight with Donde and Judge Joe. Looks like Judge Joe has Ultros 3?
Ultros 4.
4, sorry. And
Yep.
Dande
And
doing Ultros 1.
Yep. Ultros 2 is the pincer attack from the Coliseum, or from the Opera House. And Ultros 3 is Uncle Alti.
And it looks like Alexander was sleeping in Daryl's tomb, so that'll be another esper for Dande.
Yeah, so that'll be a ninth esper there for Dande.
So now all he has to do is get that one last character, which for him could be anywhere, but for us, we know where it is.
Yeah, I mean, for him, I think it's either going to be Floating Continent or Imperial Camp. Either the Mog or Go-Go.
Meanwhile, Cyclor is finishing off his collapsing house. And let's see, if I were Judge Joe, where would I go?
Back to the sealed cave.
Yeah. You've also got a couple minutes to loot that building down there, but whether he does it on his way back or not, I mean, that's entirely up to him. At this point, I mean, my inner loot goblin would go and grab every chest in there, but I think at this point he might not have to worry about getting too much more power.
No, I with what I know of Joe, he's someone who likes to loot less. And yeah, there's some that you're gonna loot as you touch them, but I'm just like you, and loot goblin, give me more. But if you feel powerful enough to kind of finish out the seed, you gotta really work hard to tame in that loot goblin.
I've got two things in me. I've got that dog and I've got that loot goblin in me, and they're both fighting it out each time. And it looks like Dande is doing his Mount Colts check, which is pretty interesting because this one is kind of the equivalent of eating a watch. It is a little time consuming, but yeah, this will be a first for us to see what reward is here. Could be a character, it could be, you know, an esper or, you know, potentially a dead check. But Judge Joe is getting his Strago in the sealed cave, so that is character number 7 for him. And it's Control Strago.
Yeah. Control Strago now. You're sitting on the airship. Take a nap, old man.
If he wants to control so bad, he can control that airship.
Yep. Keep it flying nice and steady for us.
Speaking of airships, we do have an Air Force over at the Mount Colts boss fight, so it's a couple of Ultimas, no big deal.
Where is Joe going? What's he going to be doing? Cave of the Belt, Abbott's Rock. Is he going to do Auction House? Is he going to check the Auction House?
No.
I think so. Looking for one
so many more other checks. Come on, no. Alright, Nobody War. Choose Illumina or Illumina? Oh, he chose the Illumina. I was really hoping he would have gone for the Illumina.
Can Joe sell enough to just clear out this auction? I mean, he's looking to sell stuff.
That might be a bit more time consuming than Mount Colts, which did reward him did reward Dande with a Thunder Shield, I believe I saw. I know it was an Elemental Shield, and yeah, this is an option.
Attention everybody, glowing stones still available.
Getting an Esper right off the bat. That is wow. Unbelievable. Wow. Is he in World of Ruin for this?
Yes, he is actually.
Still, wow. Getting a Crusader and getting that Kefka unlocked, so he is good to go. Wow.
Yeah, like, how close is he to the check skip? If he's been keeping track, I mean, you at least have one other free dragon at the Opera House.
does look like Donde is going to get his Mog over in Imperial Camp. Nobody War finishing up his collapsing house. And, yeah, Opera House Dragon for Judge Joe.
Yeah, I mean, if you're sitting at like 21, 22, just do your dragon. You can do it. You can do your second dragon at Kefka if you really want, and then you got 22. Warp out your 8 statues. Yeah, okay. It looks like Chrono Tracker. It looks like Joe is actually manually tracking. He's in there at 21 checks, so he's going for skip.
I mean, if you're that high in checks, that's something I would do as well. I mean, also doing your dragons, getting those checks in, also getting additional levels, so I do like the Opera House dragon check to do. Which in this case was a blue dragon.
Not terrible. It's moved a little bit. It's no longer hiding.
And nobody were going through Tunnel Armor are going to be getting his Terra pretty soon. So this is
Down goes the blue dragon. I mean, we're looking at everybody's, probably we're looking to be right around the normal levels, and another EXP egg. Wow.
with that skip, so that experience egg is at this point not worth putting on anyone.
No.
Unless you want to put it on somebody going down the middle road, but even then, I mean, yeah, we are seeing a pretty decent party divergence. I mean, not one party is the same amongst the four of our runners. I mean, they do have, the Celeste, the Saban, and I do believe Shadow, but that fourth character is pretty different across the board.
Yeah, different routes taken so far in the general aspect. We're Joe here going to be setting up the tower here. Let's see what atrocities are here at the statues. No longer is it going to be the statues. Well, it might be, since we haven't seen one yet.
There is a good chance of the statues being past the skip point, and Cyclor getting his Setzer, and Nobody War getting his Terra as well. Thonde getting his Mog. 3 characters obtained at the same time, and they're all different. Speaking of statues...
Look! We got us. Also one of those other ones that you don't want the Pearl proc on.
Yeah, that is just taking away the work that you do there. That is not fun.
Just don't get another Pearl proc.
Hey, do you like Pearl procs? How about another one? Hey, look at that.
Do we need to get you a
We gave you 2 Illuminas. We figured you wanted 2 Illumina procs to go with it.
Yeah.
It's only fine. It's just procking.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool, I did 10k damage. You healed for 7. I still did 3k damage.
Yeah, you're still doing that 3,000 damage, so you are putting in some effort. It looks like Nobody War is going to take on his Magitech factory, just looking for 3 more Espers, and he will be getting 2 of them out of this, which I believe check number 2 in this is a,
Right.
I want to say it was a Ragnarok sword?
No. So it was Golem from check 1, Stray from check 2, and I'm not sure what check 3 was.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Floating Continent check 2. That one was the Rag sword. So he will be getting his, he will
We
be...
get 2 of the 3.
Yeah, he'll be getting 2 of them here, and, Cyclor getting Unicorn. Hey, look! More statues!
Wait, is this vanilla? I can't remember on the statues. Like, I know Gallus is the right side, but I always mix up Doom and Poltergeist.
I want to say Doom is on the left side.
Okay.
I think.
Jack confirming this is the chicken spot.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I think this is Poltergeist. Yeah, this is Poltergeist. Goddess is on the right. Doom's on the left.
Okay, well, we're 2 for 3 for the statues.
Now
Well,
we just
hit
need
the
either
third one.
Team 1 or Team 3 to get statue number 3, and then we'll be essentially in go mode.
Oh, Magic 3 is Siren, so yeah, if nobody were to decide to do MTech 3, they'll have all the Espers. And with Magic as an ability, you're highly rewarded to do so. Or incentivized, I should say.
And it looks like Donde just got his go mode. However, he did not get Kefka Tower skip, so he will be running through the entirety of the tower. I mean, hey, you know, we've got another chance to see the third statue right before the skip point. So who knows? He might find his Poltergeist in lane 3.
And the Infernal spot. Did I see that right? I think nobody was found in Econ somewhere because yep, that was right.
Wow. Must have been from a chest. I didn't see where he got it.
I didn't either. I just saw the Esper's costume. One, I'm like, that is Econ. We have infinite blue buttons with X magic.
Oh, that is good because I'm getting a little hungry and I need some blue buttons to eat.
Buttons. I do legitimately have big candy buttons with me right now.
And here's an Ultros and the Goddess statue. Not quite Poltergeist, but I think we'll take it.
It's Uncle Ulti. Okay, now the question is, will we see either a statue or the last Ultros?
I want a statue. I want the third and final statue to be on the left-hand lane. I need to see that. It looks like Cyclor is also getting into Kefka's tower. Didn't get to skip either. Oh, that would have put him in go mode if he stuck through with it. Oh, what's he planning on doing?
Keep going.
Oh, is he getting
Bum Rush?
Yeah. Okay, so getting Bum Rush, I can see that. But why not get Bum Rush after Magitech 3 though? I mean, oh. No, you would have
We
been
got
go mode.
Go-Go's check still. We've got. Well, we know that Sealed to Cave is character. I think Welk was another option for an Esper there. Still have Auction House.
I mean, that is true, but... Oh... And it was Siren too, I believe. That's... Man...
Oh, just a leader here.
Hey, that doesn't look like Poltergeist to me. What's going on?
Oh, this leader is going to be quick and gone.
Wait, there was a leader? I missed it.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so we've also got Moblez and now Colts for nobody more. So we've got options. We can also peek Moblez, so that's an option. I'm not a big fan of Moblez, though, because you'll lose like half the party before you get the check.
We've got a really interesting play from Cyclor here, going into Toilet Atma spot to find a great value Magimaster. This is he getting his checks to do skip as well?
Great value, you mean the Wish Magimaster?
More like a Timu Magimaster.
I mean, it's number 24, that's not that bad. Especially with what we have for equipment and spells, it's pretty alright. Who are we not going to be taking away? It's an Esper. Nobody is going to be doing Moblez.
I mean, at this point, you have to for that go.
Yeah.
Judge Joe hitting switches at 102. I believe it was 24. So he's going to be doing his final fight here in just a second. There we go.
Joe's going to finish with 111. I'm thinking Joe's going to finish with 114.
You know what? I'm going to say 113. I'm going to Price is Right this.
113.01?
113.01. Actually, if I really wanted to play by the Price is Right rules, I would say 113.59. We're taking on Tier 1 pretty well. If you want to explain how Tier 1 works, Tibble?
Yeah, so Tier 1 we have the long arm on the left, the fist on the right, and then the head up top. We usually instant death or doom the left arm there, which is what's happening on Joe's side. It misses. The major thing here with Tier 1 is that we want to make sure that the head is taken out before both arms, because if you don't, you get a nice quick counter, and there goes 2.5 of your health. Goodbye.
And that quake is very deadly, especially if you're in the lower levels and your defense just isn't quite there. So that is something to kind of keep in mind as you're doing this fight. Take down the head, find cheap alternative ways for the long arm, and then short arm, he's nothing. He just hits a little bit harder.
Yeah, and that head's weak against fire, so using like Fire 3 or Fire 2 or Fire beacon is going to be your best options there. The worst feeling is when you decide to, you're using an off-ray and all of a sudden you take out the last arm and the head at the same time and you go get quaked, you go right to Tier 3, or right to Tier 2, I should say.
Speaking of Tier 2...
Then Diffuser comes out and you feel real bad.
Yeah, so with that, we do have 4 different targets on this Tier 2. You have Magic, you have Weapons, you have Hit, and you have Tiger. Out of all 4 of those, I would say personally Tiger is the worst one, since he does tend to give you status ailments such as Zombie or Imp or Confuse. So typically he's the one to take down first. Magic can be muted. Just make him be completely quiet. He can't do anything to you. Meanwhile, Weapons is also instant killable. So if you have that Odin or that Raiden or X Zone or X for Doom, very good chance that Judge Joe does hit it. And then you have Hit, who is just mostly a physical attacker.
Yeah. And you can actually, when it comes to usually when they take out Magic last hit, when he goes away, he actually does 10 hits. So you see everybody right out in the back row, taking less damage to kind of reduce that 10 hits damage. Magic, even when Magic is muted, the death counter from Magic is going to be 2 dispels, so you know when you've taken out Magic when those happen, if you haven't muted them.
It looks like Dante has gotten through his goddess fight. And nobody more taking on the Opera House Dragon. I think at this point, he's also going for Skip by getting his 22 checks.
Yeah. And we definitely see how Skip can kind of, make a little bit of a difference in, kind of the grand scheme of things. Because you can be way behind and just not having to make that long walk on 3 sides and an extra fight. I don't think it's really worth it to stop the Tiger Head just because it'll end up breaking out of it pretty quickly. Oh, here's something. Nowhere just did a heavy center slot. So be sitting at 21 or 22. Could do the Toilet Atma into the Dragon there to get your 22. It's something we saw quite often happen in the Warring of the Triads. It's 2 checks. Sometimes keeping an eye on which bosses you have or haven't seen. You can skip that Atma spot for the Dragon for the check.
Yeah, so him loading up on lane 2, he is going to be, it looks like he is going to be getting his skip here, not taking the Toilet Atmo, going for the Dragon like you said earlier.
Yep.
I do find that viable because Dragon gives you, a chance for, I don't know, maybe an Atmo weapon. Speaking of Atmo weapons, Judge Joe taking down tier 2, moving on to tier 3 if you want to give a good shot at what tier 3 does.
Yeah, so tier 3 here we have Lady on the left and we have Sleep on the right. Lady absorbs every single element out there. So really we have to take out with like Tech Missile or Flare. He only has quad 9 health, which will just cast Whirlwind. And if you knock out Sleep before her, she'll actually life to him. So it's always you take out Lady first, then you start working on Sleep. Now, the problem with him is that once he gets down to the round, I think it's like 9,000 health or so, he will start countering with Meteo or Train. So you gotta be really worried on, how much health does he have left. You want to make sure you kind of just take it out there and skip one of those Meteo counters because it hits for quite a bit.
And getting hit by that train is no fun because that basically it gives you blindness and mute. So if you don't have any echo screens or eye drops, that getting hit with train is just almost a massive disaster.
Yeah. But as to kind of go back to what we were talking about, nobody was skipping past the Atma spot. It's about the same for items. The biggest thing is that if you haven't seen some of the terrible fights, so like Rexel, Piranhas, even like Senior Behemoth, fights that can sit there and take a while because you have to watch a lot of animations or just bleed time. Skipping that Atma spot, you don't know what boss could be there. Whereas a dragon, you know it's going to be one of 8 dragons. Like, it's just a dragon. Nothing to worry about.
Alright, and we are on the final tier of the Kefka fight for Judge Joe. He did lose Shadow, so he has Terra in as a backup spot. So all he has to do here is just go out on an all-out physical or a magic attack, depending on what he has that is stronger. And remember those Illuminas? Let's proc Illuminas here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also, I mean, I don't know, swing Illuminas at Girl and proc the Illumina with her, but, I mean, she only absorbed every element, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. Definitely gonna be breaking some shields here. Skips the Fallen One phase. Gonna hope to do enough damage to take it out here in Goner. Because otherwise we're gonna be a real hurt unit here. That's what Joe likes to do, play it nice, fast, and loose.
That's the story of my life. All summed up in a Final Fantasy VI randomizer speed.
Yeah, we've got an ultimate coming out from Mog. I think he's been counting his damage here. We're hoping he can get...
This Ultima should be enough to finish him off. And
Yep.
it is!
There's the Snap, Crackle, Boom.
Finishing out this seed with a 111.15. Well done. Throw your GGs in chat over there. That was really good.
I think it goes to Juicy. Juicy with the 111.11. Closest without going over.
I don't know. In my heart, my 112.59 wins.
It went over. Price is Right rules. You went over.
No. Now we're switching the rules. Listen, it's my game show. I can make the rules.
I reject reality and substitute my own. Nobody got that reference?
No, I got it, yeah.
Okay. But GG's to Joe here. We'll see if we can get the judge in here. What we have, no, we weren't taking on the goddess fight here. Taking it out here, we've got Donde working on tier 1. Looks like we're finishing off the left side.
Cyclor, if he's done, I believe he has done the middle pass, so the right one is all he has left. He has that one fight to go, and then he should be good. Entering his Kefka as well. Yep, he's got the right side to go. Donde taking on, tier 1, throwing those Ultimas at him.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Donde said got more than 3k health. Not too terribly worried about, a Quake counter. He's got more than enough to survive it. And like if you found Minerva's Flame Shield, something to kind of reduce the damage from Diffuser, you're not too worried about it. You just want to blitz that damage and get through this as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and save what you can for tiers 2 and tiers 3 especially. And we are joined here by the judge, jury, and executioner, Judge Joe. Judge, how do you feel about this seed?
Fairly straightforward. It gave us Magitech, it gave us a starting rage, it gave us an X-Magic user. Earrings were for sale, so power was easy to come by. Oh, and the XP eggs, yes, those two.
Yeah. Was it 3 XP eggs in this seed? One was Shadow Bandit Falls and a dragon. So we saw you take on, not so much take on, but go to the auction house for your ninth esper.
Yep.
Was that kind of a plan from the start, or you're just I guess to say when you're over there in like Saban's area, you had the option to look at Phantom Train, but you never did.
No. I'm never looking at Phantom Train when there's quicker options. I'll do Colts before Phantom Train.
You can peek it where you can't peek Colts.
And?
I mean,
Phantom Train, to me, is a slow check. Yes, there are others that are slower, so I tend to just not do it. I get what people say about peekables. There was also could have done Shadow's check as well for a peekable if I wanted, but I had the Terra, so I quick did the free check and then went to the auction house, puts me in position if there's an Esper there. If not, I have plenty of checks available.
And getting that Esper first shot at the auction house was just impressive luck.
If you don't do auction house, you sometimes save up your luck. Good or bad. I guess I saved up good luck this time.
And it did help out with carrying you through the rest of the seed at a 111.15. Congratulations.
Thanks. That was, I think for Ultros League 6, and in general Ultros League, probably a PB, but I don't really keep too much track on that. I know Triangle Island, I've definitely had faster times with that flag set. That one's fun.
but I mean, yeah, definitely a heck of a race. I mean, you saw you do Magitech. What was your thoughts when you went to the weapon shop and you had, what would you like? Would you like an Illumina or an Illumina?
It was kind of just neat. Is about how I can describe that. Like, Celes was in my team. He had a Fire 3 Rage. I might have had Fire 3 at some point, but I kept her over Terra, even though Sword Tech Terra when Celes wasn't actually doing much. Might have been a good swap, but I saw the Illumas and I went, I know where there's a Genji glove besides the one I sold for early earrings was 2 Illuminas, that 2 checks, 2 Illuminas, go do Terra for 2 more. That just sort of made Skip fall into place so incredibly easily this seed.
anything else? I mean, do you got any questions for Joe there, Eric?
I do have one. I mean, you did win this seed. However, I do like to kind of sort of ask this question. If there was anything you felt like you would have done differently, what would it be and why?
Let's see, done differently this seed. I mean, I definitely entered some random menus or small things like that. Overall, though, this route felt like it was a good route for the seed, so I can't think of anything. I can't really think of any like major bad feels from this seed. Just, little time saves here and there, a save here, open a menu for no reason, could have waited on a menu. Just those type of optimizations.
All right.
GG's once again, Joe, putting a clinic on this seed, giving it your righteous judgment there.
Yeah, and thanks for putting on the restream, helping out with that, everyone, and I'm sure it'll be a fun watch back.
Oh, definitely.
I believe it will be.
With that, I hope everyone has a good night on my end, and good luck to the finishes for everyone else.
And have
once again, Joe.
have a good night, and thank you for joining us for an interview.
Always a pleasure.
Alright, well, as we were interviewing Joe there, we had some interesting strats coming out here. I saw down on the Cyclor side, was doing kind of a bunch of damage there on tier 1, and decided to actually float his party in the off chance that got the weight counter, so nice heads-up play out there. We've got Donde coming into tier 3, getting Merton cast on him right away. There's a Doom counter above his head, so maybe taking a little bit of an issue with this fight, not having anything to really do great against the lady, because that's probably the hardest section of this fight, is taking out lady.
And that Doom counter being at 9 seconds means that he's going to have to really finish out tier 3 to keep Shadow up to tier 4, or else he's going to just have to have somebody else take his spot, and who knows if he wants to try to take that risk.
Yeah, I definitely see doing something here we call menu weight tricking here. Every single time he goes into a menu, he is pausing that timer. So trying to keep it right there at 6, or have it slowly go away. Anytime you're sitting there just waiting for an animation to kick off, you want to be in your menu to stop that timer. It also stops the enemies' little ATB bar from queuing up. A meteor counter comes out. Yeah, Shadow just not having a great day here today. Didn't dodge it.
He's got 2 seconds left to live. Let's see if he's able to, and it looks like he will be going on to the tier 4 with 2 seconds left on the clock. That is cutting it real close.
Yeah, so thanks for listening to Juicy. Yes, float does carry over in a general sense. It's just a normal buff like vanish. So once you have it on, you have it until either you decide to take a nap, you get dispelled.
And the same thing is applicable for stuff like haste, life 3, shell, safe, everything that, and I believe espers such as Golem and Fenrir, correct?
Yep. Yeah. So if you decide to take a nap, get hit by magic with Golem, then you wake up, you no longer have his little hand protecting you.
And nobody
It's kind of interesting if your character decides to take a nap, and they have float on it, if you just have a floating person in the air taking a nap.
It's like a magic trick.
Yeah,
wonder
also
what
in the
magic trick
overworld too.
Do you get that esper from?
What?
And I wonder what kind of magic trick you get from what esper gives it to you.
Yes, it's just in the general overworld. If you're floating, you can transition between areas, and you still have float on you. It's a little different than the other Final Fantasy, like in Final Fantasy IV. As soon as you transition into a new area, you'll lose your float. 6, you keep it.
And Donde is taking on his final Kefka. Yeah, it looks like he's still got a little bit to go. Getting into the Goner phase. And Nobody War and Cyclor are battling out on Tier 3. It'll be interesting to see if Nobody War jumps ahead just a little bit by finishing his Tier 3 a little faster.
Yeah, definitely. We saw the text, the end becomes chaos. This is the time to get all your damage out quickly as possible, because we're not going to get any counters from Kefka.
Yeah, this is
just in a pause state. And here comes out Goner.
There is that Goner.
So here comes the scary thing, is that I think we're down low enough HP. I think if Kefka's below 15k HP, and you hit him, he has a chance to counter with Ultima. So this tech missile doesn't take out. Okay, didn't get a counter. We got lucky.
And Cyclor is hitting his phase 4, and Calmness comes out for Nobody War. And he is taking Shadow, cutting it close by the skin of his teeth, keeping Shadow alive. Can't really say the same about Sabin, though, which is unfortunate. And Donde is Donde with this C, taking down his final Kefka at 123.52.
GG's to Donde. Got a little dicey there at the end. Got lucky with no ultimate counter. That's always a feels bad. Like you're just about to take out Kefka, and all of a sudden he counters with ultimate. You're like, oh.
And
I
it
have to
hit
go through all that
way
again.
too hard, yeah. Like Ultima counter is a massive hit. As Nobody War and Cyclor are both on Tier 4. So
on Cyclor's side, I don't think Sabin's gonna be walking off that Havoc wing there. I think the HP bar is still going down. It's also like 6k. It's like,
just need a little pick-me-up. He's good to go.
there's falling one on Nobody War's side. So we didn't find any Mega Elixirs. And with that but done here, we are joined by Donde. GG's, Donde.
Hey, GG's, thanks, and good race there, Nobody War.
Yeah, I mean, a heck of a seed. I mean, lots of early power out there. Just kind of go through a little bit of what you were experiencing there.
Yeah, like you said, it was really strong, really early. Didn't feel like I needed to do a lot of extra grinding. Found that XP egg real quick, and then, second one a little bit later on. So it's, one of those seeds that it felt like kind of played itself almost. Didn't really have much input. Obviously, it could have done better since, is it? Nobody. I thought it was Judge Joe that won the race, wasn't it?
Yep,
He
it was
did,
Joe that
yeah.
won the race, and Nowhere just finished her in the
By
semi.
13 seconds. That's what it was. Wow. Holy cow. Yeah, that was a crazy fast seed.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different divergence around here between everybody that was running. You got the Mog. Was there ever a thought of doing any of Mog's checks at all?
I got it real late. Like, I think it was the very last thing I got before I pushed into the tower. So, no, there wasn't too much of a thought there to do it.
Mog was there at Imperial Camp. Were you someone who just kind of waits to join Imperial Camp for a lot later, or just didn't want to do it early this season?
Nah, I just kind of was. I had like a pretty early thought in mind, the route I wanted to take, and nothing was really too over there in that part of the map. So I was like, I can get around to it later. It's also a good thing to pop a check on in case I do need something later on. So I was like, at that point, I need a character. I can go in there, check it. Phantom Train is right there as well. So that was kind of my thought at the end. Was like, I'll just peek these two, and hopefully one of them has what I'm looking for.
Okay. Eric, you got anything for Donde here?
So, I mean, just the general question that I ask usually anybody else. If there was anything you feel like you could have done differently with this seed and how you ran it, what would it be and why?
I definitely have to go back and look at everything, but menuing in particular is always something that I can do better. You know, I try to do as much optimizing as possible and not going into particular equipment screens and whatnot. But I think that that's like a pretty basic answer. I don't think there's too many people who'd say their menuing is 100% perfect, but without looking back at everything, I'm sure there were a few bosses I might have been able to attack a little bit better, but in general, I thought that was pretty close to my personal best too. So I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch.
Yeah, I mean, heck of a run there. I mean, oof, it was a sight to see, to say the least.
Well, thank you guys for streaming and commentating it as well.
Yeah, not a problem.
Thank you for
have,
the interview. Thank you for the run. It was a real fun watch. Yeah, just all around, like everyone did really good with this seed. All around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright. I think we're also joined here by Nobody War. GG's Nobody.
Yes, thank you.
Heck of a race.
So I do have one question that I do want to start off with, and it's just more out of a curiosity and interest than anything. So when you were in Magitech Factory and you warped out of after the second check, you didn't want to do the third check?
No, I was just looking for, what was it, esper 8 or 9? It was one of those. It was 8
Yeah,
definitely at that point.
Because you were looking for esper 9, and if you did go through with that third check, you would have gotten it.
Oh, was it 3 for 3 there too?
Yeah, it was 3 for 3.
That would have been great. It felt slow to do that then at the very end. If I would have done that earlier, like instead of floating continent first, I would have ran the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, few people ran early to get that Magitech online with the tech missile. But I do have one question, because you're one of the other people. We heard you like Luminas.
Yeah, something like that.
I
We never went back to the second one either, and I'm like,
I
there was so much, and I only figured it out. Like, I swear, I only figured out on like the final Kefka fight. I could have just been press and fight. It like the magic carried a bunch early with the egg on Celeste, but yeah, I wasted way too much time using magic and could have just been swinging.
When I saw you went for the Illumina and not the Illumina, I was devastated, to say the least.
Right.
I mean, I would have gone for the Illumina. I don't know why you took the Illumina over the Illumina, but it's okay.
I had to make
we
it
all
though.
make-
I don't want to take it. I had to make it.
Yeah, I think I will be able to look past this, and hopefully, sleep tonight without the nightmares of, not getting the Illumina when the Illumina's right there. But I mean, either way, I mean, you did really good with this scene.
Oh, thank you.
It was definitely a fun one to watch, definitely a fun one to commentate. Very, very different paths, throughout the season in general. Kind of a good showing of different paths can take you to the same place and get you, closer around the same times. I mean, but look at Joe. Joe just routed this extremely well, but like everybody else, you use Cyclone and Donde just like all right next to each other with your times.
Well, I mean, I know it was a little past Easter, but there was what, 3 eggs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Cannon
enough. Especially when the
Falls,
first 2 are within
Kefka.
like the first 10 minutes. It was ridiculous.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
'cause
never too late.
It was
for
just
you.
game over at that point, no matter what.
Yeah, but you got everybody that's really good for the experience eggs later. Your Blitz user, your Sword Tech user,
Well, I
everybody
had to
that you
throw a
want
little
on the-
boy in there when I when we got him. So
So if there was anything that you felt like you would have done differently with this seed, what would it be and why?
Geez, I don't know. I guess, like I said, probably just try to just see that. Should have just started swinging. I know the magic was great and there was economizers, but there was I've been really trying to like be on top of like input controls and like just not wasting time anywhere else that I can, because I do it a lot. So
And speaking of economizers, where were they? Because we noticed that
World
you
of
had...
Ruin, South Figaro. Those are, like I
Ah,
said, like not wasting time. Those are the only two places I go anymore in the beginning of a seed. Even if
And you
I'm
had
if I'm
saving
going
for the
somewhere,
discount.
like
and
yeah.
going for that bum rush too, which is you had the levels. Going for it was a really good call.
I don't have anything else.
I don't either.
Well, Glue, where are we going tonight?
All right, and with all of that, we are going to be rating Erosion's 55, which I believe is also known as Mark. So, yeah, so get your hellos, get your invasion, or raid emotes ready, and go say hi to him. Which I believe was also is also doing the Ultros Underground spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you can still show your support.
And don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We have a Moogle Cup race. We have Queckwart versus Neruliana at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Speed Gaming. So be sure to check them out.
Hey, this is a Mobile Cup?
Moogle Cup on Speed Gaming tomorrow.
There we go. I wanted to get that that Mobile Cup thing in before the stream. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.